A lone traveler stumbles through the dark, tangled woods in the dead of night. He's been wandering for hours, his path obscured by shadows, the air biting cold against his skin. When he thinks he's completely lost, he spots something through the trees. An old, abandoned house. Its silhouette looms black against the sky, the windows dark and empty, like eyes watching him. The traveler approaches, shivering as he steps onto the creaking porch. His flashlight flickers as he pushes open the door, and it groans like it's been asleep for years. Inside, the air is thick and stale, laced with something he can't quite place, like rotting wood and something. He shines his light around. Dust floats thick in the air, and faint shapes loom in the corners, broken furniture draped in old, torn sheets. The house is silent. Almost too quiet. As he steps further in, a whisper seems to drift through the darkness, so faint he's practically sure he imagined it, but the whispering doesn't stop. It grows louder the further he goes, words he can't understand, hissing and murmuring just out of reach. He feels a chill creep up his spine as shadows dance at the edge of his vision. He turns, swinging his flashlight, but finds only empty space. His only answer is silence. And then, the brush of something cold against his arm. He jumps, spinning around, his breath fogging in the air. He shines his flashlight, but there's nothing there. Just an old mirror against the wall, cracked and dark, reflecting only the faintest glint of his flashlight. But as he stares into the mirror, something strange happens. His reflection. It doesn't look right. There's a shadow in his eyes, a slight twist in his smile that doesn't belong. He steps closer, raising the flashlight, and the reflection steps with him. But there's a delay, a split-second hesitation, like it's choosing to move. His reflection grins, a slow, twisted smile that stretches too wide, too dark. And then it speaks, its voice low, rasping, as if dragged from the depths. The reflection's hand presses against the glass, and a cold dread fills the traveler's heart as he feels the chill seep through, a deathly cold hand grazing his own skin, pulling him closer. He tries to back away, but his feet won't move. He's rooted to the spot, drawn into the gaze of his twisted double. The traveler's mind races, fragments of fear and confusion tearing through his thoughts. He tries to turn, to break free, but the house itself seems to hold him there, the shadows thickening, tightening around him like a snare. His breath comes in gasps, and his reflection's smile grows wider, darker. With a final, desperate struggle, the traveler wrenches himself free, stumbling backward, but the house is different now. Every window, every door, sealed shut. He's trapped. He turns to the mirror, his flashlight flickering one last time. His reflection is gone. Or maybe it's not. In the dim light, he catches a glimpse of himself. Twisted, distorted, something inhuman staring back with a grin that's no longer his own. And in that cold, empty house, deep in the woods, the traveler finally realizes he can never leave. As the night deepened, silence wrapped itself around the old, decaying house like a suffocating shroud. The traveler's frantic breaths faded, swallowed by the oppressive stillness. In the cracked mirror, his reflection stared back, no longer bound by his movements, its twisted grin widening with a dark satisfaction. Shadows swirled and thickened, creeping ever closer, pressing against the walls and pulling beneath his feet. Outside, the twisted trees stood motionless, bearing silent witness to the house and its trapped inhabitant. And in that dark, forsaken room, the traveler's last scream hung in the air, unheard, as he became a mere shadow within the glass, a reflection frozen in terror, forever part of the house's endless, silent horror. They say on certain nights, if you wander too close to the abandoned house, you might catch a glimpse in a cracked window, an airy face staring back at you, eyes hollow, a grin too wide, pleading for escape. But beware. For it only takes one glance, one step inside, and you may find yourself unable to leave. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey into the reflection in the dark. We hope the story left you with a few shivers and shadows lingering in your mind. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever encountered a place that felt haunted? Or perhaps you've experienced a moment that made you question reality? Share your own tales of the strange and supernatural in the comments below. And if this story struck a chord, let us know what gripped you the most. Whether it's a ghostly encounter, a mysterious sight, or just a story you've heard, your stories make these tales come to life. So gather around, let your imagination wander, and don't forget to keep an eye on your reflection. You never know who might be looking back.